Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about the man, the smartest being in the multiverse, Mr. Niv Mizzet. We know he's the smartest being in the multiverse because he told us. Anyway, hope everybody had a great time at their pre-release. I know I did. I went 3-1 with Selesnya. Just a whole lot of Convoke stuff. I was just trying to get the Tristani, and I did. But a good buddy of mine, Taryn Qualls, over at MTGO Traders, he plays a lot of digital, and in his prize packs, he got this here Niv Mizzet that he graciously donated to the cause. I appreciate it, Taryn. Thank you very much. It's beautiful. There's not too many different riffs you can take off of Niv Mizzet. I mean, I love the can't be countered. Obviously, he's a 5/5 flyer, and he deals the damage drawy thing. I do like the damage to any target. I'm glad it's not just a player or a creature or whatever. But that last line, man, whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery, you draw a card. So it's not quite the recycle ability, play a card, draw a card. But if you build it, you can. Now, the big thing, well, all right, we're just going to go ahead and get it out of the way. Y'all know we got it. It's the curiosity. It's the same thing with every Niv Mizzet. The curiosity or the Ophidian's Eye. You put it on him, and it's an infinite loop. Well, not quite infinite, because you're drawing a card every time, and you're going to deck yourself. And since I'm out of Lab Maniacs, I have, at some point in time, we were going to reach critical mass, where we got to kill or sack our own dude. Because, let's face it, Niv Mizzet's smarter than us, and we got to get rid of him. So, but yeah, that's not the interesting part of the story. Everybody does Curiosity, Ophidian Eye. They're commons or uncommon, whatever. And yeah, it's if you get it, you get it. If not, it's fine. I don't really have any ways to go looking for it. But my favorite personal interaction is Basilisk Collar. And it's so awesome it won't even focus. Because this way, its one damage that it does is lethal to any creature, including itself. So if you get to that point and you need to, obviously, just by the sheer playing of the game, you're going to be drawing cards off Nicol Bolas because, we pack quite a few instants and sorceries, and it's a, pretty popular thing, especially if there's a counterspell war that breaks out. Everybody loves blue. You're just going to be drawing cards just from the table playing Magic. And when you do that, you can just pink off their creatures, and Niv Mizzet have Death Touch now. So, hey. Now, the other problem with Niv Mizzet, with this particular Niv Mizzet, is did y'all see that casting cost? Double trips, man. So, we've got all of the Izzet artifacty goodness. Of course, we have the Signet and the Clue Stone, the Key Rune, and got ourselves lockets. Now, I love these lockets. They did a lot of work for me at the pre-release, and I anticipate they're going to do a ton of work in Commander here, because that time where in the early game it's great. You get another mana, it smooths out your color requirements, but late game when you draw it, it's like, I don't need another mana. Well, you know what? In its absolute worst case scenario, it's 7 mana, draw 2 cards. And I can't tell you how many times at the pre-release I used 7 mana, draw 2 cards. I mean, I was playing with 4 of them, 2 Selesnya and 2 Boros, just for the mana ramp and the card draw, because I figured, why not? I was playing all those big fatty dudes anyway. We got Cold Steel Heart. I guess y'all can tell I've just got a resupply of Cold Steel Hearts. I'm back using them again. I think I've got 2 or 3 left. A Gilded Lotus, and of course the Mana Geyser, because Mana Geyser is amazing stuff. Now, not running a whole lot of creatures. We'll go through them. Obviously, Niv's good buddy, the Arcanist, the Omnipotent, however you want to pronounce it. But tap to draw 3 cards is a pretty cool ability. Turns out, Niv likes that. Cackling Drake, we're going to give this a try. It's a new card. Obviously, I've never played with it. It's, man, they really went all the way in with these casting costs. But, I mean, sure, why not? I love that it counts Graveyard and Exile, so if somebody Bajuka bogs you, he's not useless. And he's a cantrip. So you get Niv out, and he just draws you an extra card. Now, Tandem Lookout is kind of, it's almost win more. I'll be honest with you. But it's a redundant copy of his ability. When this creature deals damage to an opponent, you draw a card, and that feeds the loop. It's more or less another Ophidian Eye or Curiosity or whatever. Now, Adelise, instant sorcery, and Niv Mizzet happens to be a wizard. She happens to be a wizard. Arcanus happens to be a wizard. I mean, we're really close to like wizard tribal. All we really need is like, I don't know what, a goblin electromancer or maybe a wee dragonaut, because all of those work well with instants and sorceries, which is what we're going to be trying to do here. And hey, seems decent. Of course, we're going to have Niv Mizzet 2.0. If I'd have had Niv Mizzet 1.0, he'd have been in there too, because, why not play all three? It's essentially 3 copies of the same creature. We got our Gutter Snipe to get some of that extra damage. We're casting these instant sorceries, we might as well be, and hey, free damage. Hypersonic Dragon, making your sorceries have flash, so that's pretty sweet. There's the Ambusher. I love this because it's flash. You flash it out there and just to die. Absolutely just to die. And because odds are they're going to be swinging at you because we've got some, I'm going to call it bait. Yeah, bait. We've got some bait that they're going to want to swing at. So you flash this guy out. He takes all the damage. You draw a bunch of cards. You start your loop. Shake his hand. Let's go to lunch. Good job. Arjun. Now, it really surprised me that I haven't actually done the Arjun deck. It's going to be hard not to be close to this one, to be honest with you. But you cast a spell, and you, puzzle box? Sure, you puzzle box. Which is so good of a card, I put the puzzle box in, because why not? And yeah, I love that. Sweet, sweet white border. Magus of the Wheel, because Wheel of Fortune is, wow, it's expensive now. But Magus of the Wheel, pretty decent. I mean, they just about couldn't cost it any less without it being super broken. And our last creature is, of course, Psychosis Crawler, because if we're going to be drawing cards, we might as well be doing more damage, And this is each opponent, so it's not, you're not one-shotting the same player, you're one-shotting everybody. So that's what I like. Now, here, let's get to the bait. Jaya Ballard doesn't see a lot of love, but you know what? Spend this mana only to cast instants and sorceries, and then her ultimate. So, I mean, this is not terrible for this specific deck. We are in red and blue, and Ralzarek is just, I say he's so underplayed, but not a lot of my decks call for him. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason why he's in here is because he's the colors. I had Jaya, I had Ral, and I stumbled across the Wonder Twins. Now this one, he is all about the instants and sorceries. So naturally, I was running him, but it almost seems a waste to run him without Sis. Because, I mean, you're going to tutor up for free, so might as well. Let's see. This is, I got several different classes here. Let's go with, sure. Let's start with some Countermagic. Why not? Now, negate, counterspell, kind of common, This counterspell's seen some love. 5th edition. You can tell by the edges of it. This is a white border card. It's almost black border because it just saw so much unsleeve play, which I have to respect. Dismiss, also here had some play. It's got a snuffed up corner up there. Counters a spell, draws a card. That's kind of why it's in there. Ionize. Now, I'm really kind of digging this Ionize card. I'm not going to lie, because that's a hard counter. It is a hard counter target spell, period. Not unless nothing. And then it shocks the controller. So I like it. It's perfect for the deck. The only thing better would be is if it drew you a card, but that's a little much to ask for. We got Dream Fracture, hard counter, draw a card. So that's my counter. Let's look at some burn. It's not anything out of the ordinary. Now, these are Lightning Bolt, probably not the best card for our format, but when you tack it onto the Niv Mizzet and you're drawing the card, it's not bad. So, Lightning Bolt and Lightning Strike. Magma Jet. Magma Spray. It's like I'm doing this in pairs or something. Chain Reaction for when things get absolutely tough. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of creatures, and we're not really relying on our creatures to win a combat. And, of course, Blasphemous Act. Now, Smash to Smithereens, I've got in there just because it's artifact destruction and damage, and I looked down and I was like, whoa, I don't have any more, any artifact destruction in the deck at all. I got to have at least something. I'm out of Vandal Blast, so let's go with this. And then, of course, Overblaze is hard for me not to consider this a burn spell. Because obviously we're going to Overblaze Niv Mizzet, and instead of doing 1 damage, he's going to do 2 every time you draw a card. Just that turn now. But odds are we're going to do this right before, we've cast our mana geyser, and we're going to Blue Sun Zenith to draw a gajillion cards. Speaking of drawing a gajillion cards, let's go through some card draw. Now, at the low end, of course, we have Opt, Probe, Ponder, Careful Study, Brainstorm, Faithless Looting, Winds of Change. Yeah, I mean, we're going to do it upright. We're going to draw some cards. And it's probably going to be really, really easy to do. Playing the Dream Cache, and my personal favorite draw spell of all time, Frantic Search. I love this card. I have never traded or given away any Frantic Searches. Every one I pulled from all that Urza's Legacy I bought, I've still got in the binder or, in various decks y'all seen. Tormenting Voice, pretty decent. You do have the discard a card thing here. Running Thought Flare, you draw 4, discard 2. Odds are, as much card draw as we're running, we're going to gum up our hand with land anyway. So, and it is a draw 4 for 5 mana at instant speed. I don't care if I have to discard 2. It's card selection. Invoke the Fire Mind just kind of seemed to fit the theme, because it's Niv Mizzet is the Fire Mind. But Tolarian Winds, another just awesome card. Now let's look at just good old-fashioned utility. Y'all know I've got to be playing with Epic Experiment with this many instants and sorceries. I mean, I forget. I'm back on listing the decks on tappedout.com yet. I tried the MTD Goldfish, and I think it's just me being unfamiliar with it. I don't know. I'm sure it's a pretty good site. But I was trying to switch over to find something where EDH Rec actually scrapes the data from, and EDH Rec does not scrape the data from Tapped Out. It's just not set up to do that. And y'all know how much I love my EDH Rec brothers. So, back to listing it on Tapped Out. What was I getting at? I lost my train of thought. It's on such feeble tracks. Yeah. So I don't have a count of exactly how many instants and sorceries are in here, but it feels like there's a bunch. So, of course, we got the Is It Charm, good utility, Mystical Tutor, because, you know, we probably should be. Mystical Tutor probably should have been the first card in the deck. What was the first card in the deck? Oh, yeah, Curiosity. We'll see what we got here. Now, all this drawing I threw in a spell book because I'm out of Reliquary Towers. Never, still, 3 boxes of M19 and no Reliquary Tower. I hear it's supposed to be in there. Never in my boxes. Anyway, Museum Transreliquat. Museum's Transreliquat. There is no reason that this is in here other than it's a hardcore Is It card. And it's kind of really good because for 3 mana, it just copies any artifact, or for that second activation there, it keeps the copying ability. So that's, and by the way, I have no clue what that picture's supposed to be. I don't know if it's cup hooks and sideways batteries. I have no clue. Not an artist, but this has always been the Transreliquat. But because back in the original Ravnica City of Guilds block, each guild got a artifact that was kind of their thing. And this copied artifacts, and artifacts is very popular. I'm really hoping that at some point in time I get to spend 3 mana and have me a Blightsteel. That would be sweet. But things being as they are. Niv Mizzet's got a huge old target on his head, so that's why I've got the Lightning Greaves. And I really like the clout of the Dominus because, I mean, it's going to have Shroud and Haste and +2 for 1 mana. That puts Niv at the 7 mark, which is makes him a 3-hit kill. Now, granted, he's not in the 3-hit club, but if he's got the clout, he's on up there. And of course, our last 2 cards are Increasing Vengeance and Reverberate, because, you know, we're running a ton of instant sorceries, we might as well copy them. Well, that's it for today. And Mr. Niv Mizzet, I got, at my pre-release, I got 4 of the 8, and of course I already had the Imara from the Store Championship tournament that I had to play standard for. Ooh. But anyway, so I've got 5 out of the 8, and I haven't opened my box yet because I'm dumb, and I drove by, and I'll get it today. I'm recording this on Sunday, and it'll go live Monday morning, so good morning. And y'all have a good day. I do appreciate you watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, I think we're going to shuffle and cut.